What's up YouTube, COD4Man220 and welcome back to our Company of Heroes 2 online replay, this time as the Soviets. We're going up against two OKW factions and two Wehrmacht, conveniently located next to each other, and I'm the lone Soviet player on my side with three American allies. Anyway, so we saw in the last video how, we went up against a lot of Americans, right? And how some of them made artillery, so I was making sure that my allies didn't go too much artillery. I was going to tell them that. And I saw by these guys' doctrines, they were probably going to go, like, especially this guy. Oh, that Tiger stuff, he's probably going to get a Tiger Ace. Let's just be honest. And then, I saw with all those bulletins, he's probably going to get a Tiger. And that's what he did. So I have to be prepared for that. And I'm also going to kind of trying to pick what doctrine I want. So I was looking at the Soviet shock army, not too bad with the shock troops, the howitzer. But on this bigger map, I don't think the howitzer would be that effective. It would be a little better on an urban map, a little smaller map. And then I have armored assault tactics, and I have, the same kind of thing with artillery. So I'm going to choose to go here with the armored assault tactics. This will give me heavier Soviet tanks that I could use against possible Panthers and Tigers. So let's look at what I'm doing. I'm going to push up to this point here and capture it. So I've never been actually on this map on this side. So if you can see, we have two houses here. Our goal is basically to form a front line along the fence line here in the houses, and then kind of protect this area. They can have their munitions. We have our own, as you can see down here on the map. And you can see I'm going to start spamming out machine guns. Well, I'm getting 2 machine guns. So with the Soviets, I've been liking to go a lot more with the support company, because frankly, going against a lot of machine guns and stuff, you want your own machine guns and mortars. The shock troops do give you some versatility about being able to destroy bunkers, but they're not going to do as well against any kind of machine gun. You can't count on the mortars of the Wehrmacht. See, they already have a machine gun. And see, right now there's 3 guys that are converging on our area here. And I'm pinned, so I had to pull those guys back. But I wanted to lure these pioneer squads into my machine gun, and that worked there. Anyway, this guy's not going to do anything against these kind of heavy machine guns. That's the weakness of the Americans early on. They don't have any kind of mortars. They can't get mortar half-tracks. In fact, my ally does not have that doctrine on. So they don't really have any kind of mortar supporting fire till later on. You can see he's built this, a fighting position. He's upgrading it with a current MG. He's upgrading with a 50 cal machine gun. My machine guns are kind of pushing. I'm trying to kill this machine gun, so I'm just pressing my allies' men. These guys are behind them, and they're still shooting rifle grenades at these guys. You can see they're quite deadly. And my machine gun's going to move over. I'm going to start trying to suppress these units here. Actually, I'm going to double down because these guys are now pinned, and just make sure I kill this machine gun. You can see they're hopping on. The other guy's actually all the way back here. So just letting his buddy kind of die. So I forced back his machine gun. My ally managed to push these guys back. Sent a rifle grenade. He would have actually been better off to stay in there. And yeah, so there goes the Grenadier squad now down. I don't use this doctrine very much. It does give me radar stuff, so you can see at the bottom I can see the escalated battle phase 1. So they're obviously going to try to get some Panzer Grenadiers and AT guns coming out. I'm going to try to move up a little bit with my front line here, kind of get a little bit more territory, but I don't want to go too far up because I know they have mortars and machine guns probably set up, so. Now my issue with my force composition right now is I basically all support. I have a mortar. I have a mortar and 2 machine guns right now, so now I'm trying to get some more conscripts to balance it out. But in the long run, conscripts are not going to be good. I can't upgrade them with the the PPSH machine guns. You can see I'm going to start training fire with this mortar. Anyway, I gotta move my machine gun around because I can't get the shots on. See, I'm going a little heavy support here, and that's going to be a mistake later on. The conscripts with their PPSHs could do well against the Grenadiers with MG42s, but they are so deadly now. It just seems like when they upgrade those, I mean, if you can do it, if you don't need the munitions, just upgrade them as soon as possible. I'm surprised how well his mortar's doing against my mortar. These guys are in heavy cover, so I'm not going to do a whole lot of damage against them. So I managed to wipe out that mortar crew there with my combat engineers, not totally worthless units. And while the machine gun's stuck trading fire with these guys, I'm gonna flank around with my combat engineers here. Unfortunately, I don't have flamethrowers, because if I did, this would be over. I might be able to steal a machine gun. They're flanking me here, and I got a lot of my conscripts here, so I'm a little bunched up right now because my front line is kind of forced into a narrow sector here. Anyway, with all the fire heading onto this house, these guys are screwed and wiped out. So I managed to force back that machine gun, but you can already see grenadiers are coming out. Now let's go on to the other side of the map here. You can see the Americans are pushing back the OKW. And as he's pulling back from that with his Vet 2 riflemen because Storm Pioneers are coming, and they need to focus fire on that unit. Just try not to let them close in on you like that. It's even throwing a grenade. That's a good way to counter. That unit costs 320 manpower. It's a great unit. Almost like a rifleman kind of spam down here. Anyway, you can see there's still some elements of the third guy here. They do an orange player. He's mostly focused down here. And the riflemen are going to be Bolts Grenadiers unless they have the anti-tank package, because that does quite a lot of damage. You know, I'm being sniped by this sniper, and I hate snipers. I mean, I use them every now and then, but when the enemy's good at using it and good at micromanaging them, it just doesn't piss me off, and I'm like, oh, it's just annoying. It's a good way to get into your opponent's head. So he's going to fall back. I'm sending these conscripts to go after him. We do have 12 of us here. And because this car isn't stationary, see the sniper starting to take shots. Because this car isn't stationary, it can't suppress my men. So I'm trying to chase this sniper, and he's just going to keep running away, and everybody's back here. And around this point, I realize I need some kind of... I do have anti-tank grenades, but I didn't decide to throw it there. I mean, they just get repaired. Trying to take out the mortar again, really just spawning for my own mortar, which is... I now have 2 of them. I need to get some kind of AT out here. I know once I saw those lighter vehicles. The machine gun should count on that, though. This guy is artillery. He is the infantry company with the mortar half-track. And he can even call that in. Now, with the Americans, if you go lighter, if you decide to go with one of these earlier lighter vehicles, like an AA half-track or a mortar half-track, you're going to delay your tanks by a decent amount. So just be ready for that and make sure you have some kind of AT or something. I usually have to go with the lieutenant, and then I have to go with the major. Not usually the captain and major. The captain and major are 170 fuel between the two of them, so it's quite a lot. So my AT gun's coming out. You can see they're going to start sniping away at my mortars here. You gotta be careful when you snipe away at mortars like this, because they can just start targeting you. So I'm gonna halt my fire and McComb barrage right along this area and hopefully try to kill this sniper. Looks like he has yeah. You can see he got the hell out of there. The mortars just started raining down. I'm gonna call these guys back. They're almost close to, you know, Vet 1. So I've been pushed back basically in my front lines here. I'm having trouble maintaining troops at the front because my conscripts just can't stand up to those guys, and it's not... I didn't have the doctrine with the PPSH. You almost need them, and then I'm not really using, you know... These are more like for shock troops, you know, my doctrines. They weren't necessarily set for this one because I didn't know what doctrine I was going in the beginning of the game. I had to decide. And you can see the Americans with their bars pushing in, and we also have a couple Stuarts here. This would be a good thing to target. When it's being built like that, they've already spent the fuel, so... I'm pretty sure they already spent the fuel, so if you can kill them with the medical truck like that, that'd be really good. I mean, that's a Panzer. When you're able to kill it, they lose their fuel base, that's what I was trying to say. Anyway, I have my AT out here. That's pretty much all that's in the way of the enemy. He's going to move up a sniper and start trying to pick us off. Once again, a little dangerous to this because, you know, I can call light artillery barrage. He has to be, you know, ready to get this guy out of here. And he's going to fall back. So I got to, like, cease my barrage here and move my thing and try to kill this Kupowagen, which I managed to do. I mean, there's an AT gun after all. That's just a light little car. And around this time, we have the Grenadiers from purple. He's going to move in and drain our fuel. There's nothing I can really do. Right now, if you think about it, it's really just me on this side against purple and red, so I've been kind of abandoned a little bit. My ally in the middle, the yellow player, decided to shift more towards the center victory point. That's how they're killing over here, because they just have they have the numbers against those two guys. It's 3-on-2, and that's why we're not doing so well on this side. And you can see I merged my conscripts with this AT gun here. And they changed this to the AT guns. You have to set them up. They'll just kind of stay stationary. They won't be set up unless you do that. Yeah, I have to fall back with my mortars here. Actually, they decided to retreat, so I'm going to set them up. I do have my machine gun that turned around on these guys, and they're forced back. You can see we have an MG42 pushing in this building here. That's not going to go well for this MG42. It's facing the wrong way, and it's not going to be able to get set up. It just got wiped out. Anyway, this sniper is taking out 15 of my men. I'm trying to kill them. This is not the best house to put my men in, because one, it's small. There's only one window. I was just trying to give my guys some kind of cover. So I'm going to fall back more of my men here. It's a, you know, kind of a mortar war, and somehow his mortar's doing quite well compared to my two mortars, which I haven't really got anything. Yeah, this one's killed two guys. I need to I have more tubes I can basically shoot at these guys, and that's going to wipe out that mortar. And then I see a Panzer IV coming out, and I'm like, okay. I have my AT, which I'm going to maneuver around. I'm going to maneuver. And then I also have an SU coming out. So we take out the fog of war here. I'm going to hit him with that, and then the Stuart's getting back, obviously, you know, they don't want to be, they don't want to be hit and destroyed by that. So around this point, I see that he's flanking, right? And he goes, you know, the building collapses. So you can see, now you see that right there, how I saw this part was being kind of run over by a track. I'm able to turn my AT gun here, and my SU is going to come up from this area. So even if you can't see them, you kind of know they're there, right? So my field gun's going to set up down this road, start hitting him. His tank is pretty damaged. He's got to be careful here. I almost wish he had doubled down and decided to continue going up that road. Now I just ran over a haystack, as you can see there, and he's going to fall back. These guys are getting pretty lucky with their tanks. And around this time that I'm kind of pushed back that Panzer, my AT gun's going to almost get wiped out here by some Grenadiers, but I don't know why he's sending units up that are kind of half strength like this. And yeah, there you go. So that guy's dead now. You can see on this side, a lot of back and forth, you know, we have a lot of officers, commanding troops pushing up, a lot of Volksgrenadiers, a lot. And it seems like Pink's not really sure what to do. You know, there's mostly red, so he does have artillery supporting in red now as Panzer. I'm kind of right here, you know, my guy's behind the building, to the side of the building, looking for some Panzers. Doesn't see any. These guys are down to 2 men. I gotta really reinforce these guys. So look at that, 1 shot and wiped out 6 of my guys. Or yeah, now 5 of my guys. Now I wiped out 6. So I'm running my tank flank around the side here. I do have my AT here, and I'm kind of torn. I'm like, I don't want to lose my conscript squad, but I just have to. I'm gonna lose the conscript squad, but it's important that I keep my AT, especially if I had one like this healthy. And now this Tiger's gonna. Wow. Now this Panzer IV is gonna fall back, and I'm gonna take off my focus sight. And as much as I want to pursue in, I know I'm probably gonna get Panzer Fausted and get my engine destroyed. It's important I don't lose this tank. We're getting 50 fuel a minute. That is ridiculous. Wow. No wonder I had so much fuel. So now my ally's coming to help. The player in yellow. I really need... The way my army is designed right now in the army composition is I'm the support guy. I need someone with the riflemen and the infantry. Because I can't really make them. And there goes that scout car I wiped out. And I'm also anti-tank. So I'm basically the counter to all kinds of things. I'm counter to mass infantry. You know, I got the artillery support, the AT support. But what I don't have is I don't have the men to just go in and take the positions like a captain. So they're kind of forced to fall back here a little bit. The snipers, yeah, you know, 15 kills. The unit has this ability, fire incendiary explosive round, which actually kind of shocks the unit for a little bit. Man, I'd love to see the sniper get killed. And the Panzer IV comes. And I saw these guys with the bazookas, and I was like, oh boy. You know, okay, the Panzer Shreks. Anyway, you can see the Americans are pushing in on this side. So we have a Stuka Sufus going off. A lot of artillery down here. That was devastating. That wiped out 2 units. 9 kills. That was pretty nice. Let's see how my allies are doing. Let's scroll down here. They have a decent amount of manpower. Decent amount of manpower, and we lost a little bit of fuel because we lost position here. That was awesome. That guy's engine just got destroyed. And I'm going to see that, and I'm going to move in my tanks. I really want to kill a Panzer IV. I feel like too many have gone away. You saw both of them on this side just got away. So I'm going to move in. And I realize I'm going slow here. I'm trying to scout, you know, I don't want to get a surprise or anything. I'm actually hitting the rear armor of this Jagd Panzer. And I can't really, you know, it's really out of my fog of war, right? It's almost out of my sight, so I can't really see that the tank's along here. And will he get away? Yeah. That's very unfortunate. So this tank got away with very little. That one got away with a damaged engine. Really, it's kind of bad right now. I think these guys only have 1 Panzer Warfare. I don't know what the hell my Su-85 is doing here. It's like spinning in a circle, going to expose its armor to rear armor to enemy troops. And yeah, they're really, Purple's doing a good job with his, you know, his infantry being able to push back our tanks. And you know, my tanks aren't, they're just designed, you know, basically they're basically just tank destroyers, right? They're Su-85 tank destroyers. They're not meant for the infantry. Now I have a Katyusha, more artillery to kind of support me along here. I see that if these guys push on over here, I'm screwed. So I'm going to pull back my tanks here. There's no point in me trying to fight those kind of guys. The artillery's going in, mortars are going in. Hell, even the AT's moving in a little bit. You can see these Grenadiers have become quite veteran. They got a decent number of kills. Well, the guy only has 4 kills. I'm going to push and they're going to take this area. And around this time, my ally was going like, hey, they're taking our fuel. And I was like, I mean, look at my composition of my force, right? I don't have anything to really stop that. I have a supporting force after all. And here's when the Panzer force might be coming in. They're going to try to overwhelm my mortars. I do have a machine gun though, but it's facing the wrong way. It's facing this area, which is correctly predicted where they're going to flank. We had the rifle grenade there and killed 5 men. And they're going to flank along this side. I have my other machine gun coming down and try to stop these guys. These guys get stunned, I think, by their own grenades or something. I haven't seen them be stunned like that before. So I'm getting overwhelmed right now. You know, I have 2 tanks coming down to me. I got these guys with the Panzer Shreks. That tank's out of control. I gotta fall back. I gotta save my Vet 1 tank here. My lines just collapsed on me. And due to my force composition, I was basically in more of a supporting role. And he's going to keep pushing with this tank. Now its main gun is destroyed, and he's going to try to stop that. I'm getting my Katyusha out of there, too. No need to waste 360 manpower on that. And I'm so tempted. I want to kill. Look at my guy, like, pathfinding is kind of weird. And even that tank gets away. So if you look how lucky I don't know if you want to call it luck, but they just seem to have gone away with everything. Very little health on all their tanks, and they still seem to be getting destroyed. So I'm going to fall back. Gotta get my tank out of there. These guys are almost dead. And if he really wants to push in, I'll take him. And so basically all I have left are my conscript squad, my repair kit, Katyusha, and Su-85. I'm in trouble right now. I am trying to save up for an IS-2 heavy tank. I don't really use the IS-2s very much, but man, they are great tanks. I love them. I'm gonna use a couple of them this game. See my ally, very cool camo on these guys actually. He has Easy 8s and a couple Jax tank destroyers. And artillery's going, that's just a way to stop the blob. I believe someone was saying in the last video that the Allies can't win also. And on the contra, I think if you have a Soviet player with an ISU 152 or a couple of those, it's very, very hard for the Axis to win. Now the question is, will the, I think with this new update, they may have a Pershing or some more heavy American armor. Because if you think about it, besides the Easy 8s, the American force don't really have any kind of heavy armor to counter late game German armor. And that's what I think he was trying to point out too. It's kind of hard for the Americans to counter a bunch of Tigers late game. I mean, they do have captains and AT and stuff, but what you're really going to do that with those guys is hit them with a lot of tank destroyers. Because the Jacksons, especially with those armor-piercing shells they have, with the Vet 1, they can do a whole lot of damage against those guys, and they even outrange Tigers, so. The Jackson's definitely a much better one than this guy. So my allies seem to be calling a lot of artillery down and collapsing buildings on their positions here. See the Shermans are moving in. Nothing's really happening on my side in case you're wanting to kind of guy my forces up. Okay, so I want to explain. I usually don't back tier like this. I decided to build a special rifle command because I need penal troops because my conscripts are not cutting it. I need some kind of heavy infantry to fight these grenadiers with the grenadiers with all their special guns they have. Anyway, Panther over here, rear armor exposed, getting hit, bazookas. And he's going to pursue, and he's going to try to finish that guy off, which he did. Good coordinated use of my allies of their tanks here, you know. You had the bazooka men, you had the Easy 8s, and you had a tank destroyer right there kind of covering the middle. So very good use. And my tank is Vet 2 now, so he does have increased rate of fire and accuracy. So really quickly, you can see I basically sacrificed these units. I wanted to basically get our mortar set up and do a precision strike here on both these units. So see, that'll be quite devastating, and I'm going to try to wipe out these guys here. It's really just for me trying to get rid of their support weapons here. I seem to know exactly where their positions are. I'm calling artillery along because I know they probably have packs set up. So yeah, that pack moves back. I don't know what happened by that. Those guys didn't die, basically, but they're down to one man. They manned it. You can see these guys are Panzer Grenadiers. They manned a... That's just not good to man. You want to man it with your cheapest troops. And the snipers over here. He's going to start sniping more of my men, and he has killed 21 men. So, if you think about the manpower thing, he's got set back 360 manpower, but he's used them quite well. Especially against my forces. Now you can see we have our penal troops, comrades. And... Yep. Vet 2, hitting him from the flank. We're gonna have trouble trying to pierce this frontal armor, especially, you know, SUs are very good at, you know, panzer killers. Now I am very close to an IS-2. That guy got killed. And now I'm hitting that with, you know, I pull back from their range and put my focus sight on. I'm calling a Sturmovik. He's actually doing quite a lot of damage against the tank there. I'm really hoping he'll take out the sniper who's just been sitting here. Sniping away, having a field day. And on this time, my ally is going to shift over some Easy 8s to help me out, and I really appreciate that. Let's see, what was his name? His name was Guardsman. And he sees that sniper there, and I'm like, come on. There we go. Sniper's dead. Easy 8s. You gotta love them. You almost want to go to the Easy 8s every single time as the Americans. Easy 8s are great. Easy 8s and Jacksons. I love those units. And you can see with the artillery going down onto the paratroopers that are landing, and the Fallschirmjägers officially landed their FG-42s. And smoke's going out. It was an assault barrage by one of those guys. It is a airborne assault. So I now have the IS-2, the Joseph Stalin 2 tank, basically. And this tank, look how big it is. It's awesome. So now I just need some infantry to start capturing the points. So I'm going to heal these guys up, reinforce them, and we're going to send them out, and we're going to try to collapse on this area here. They're being continually softened up by the Katusha barrage, and I've kept my mortars alive, which have killed a total of 13 men. Not enough, you know, I don't think they've proved their worth so far with how much manpower. I put into both those units. Anyway, you can see I did attack ground with this unit and I destroyed that AT gun. I don't want them remanning anything. Yeah, be very careful when you're going up against tanks like this with low health, because they're pretty deadly. Look at that. It almost seems like this IS-2 tank shoots like a high explosive shell. He hid behind the building, but that's probably the last thing he's going to shoot. I'm going to push into this AT gun. Now I'm moving alongside him here so he can't get a shot on me. Point blank he basically missed, but the guy with the Dushka on top is going to do a lot of damage, and we're going to try to wipe out this bunker here and the AT. I'm just going to pull back and repair his tank. I do want to kill this mortar crew. So you can see, they pretty much had this side, right? They pushed me all the way back, basically, to my base. And now with my allies' tanks, we've been able to push up. My comms are moving in here. That tank actually did a lot more damage against the enemy than me. That was good, even though we were right next to each other. And I want to destroy this guy here. See, he snuck some infantry behind me. He's probably trying to go after the Katyusha. Should have just fired the shot, but I guess he doesn't want to lose his men. It's not a bad idea. Don't lose your men. So the bunker is gone, and we have the Panzer and the Panzer and the Panther coming in. And you have my tank kind of sitting back. That's what the FCU is going to be. He's going to be kind of a sniper in the back. He's not going to definitely not going to be the guy at the front line like that. So I'm capturing this point right now. It's very good to be able to kind of scout, and now I'm trying to move my tank up. It's good that I have men being able to repair my tank here and capture the point at the same time. I strategically did that. But now, they're going to kind of triple team us on this side. They kind of feel like the other side's going to be completely locked down, more or less, and in the trenches. And I'm losing people right now. And I'm aiming right for that Panther. So I'm hitting it with my Vet 3 Su-85. You don't want to stand too long, and you can see how quickly he is firing. False makers do have skirmishes, and now they're shifting onto this side. So as he pulled back, these guys come in now. It gives us, time to basically turn. And you can see, we're hitting him from every kind of possible flank. I'm trying to pull back my tank a little bit here. And then I heard the Tiger Ace come out, and I'm like, oh boy. So I'm gonna push in. That tank is dead. That's good. They finally lost one of their tanks. You can see they're getting lucky again. I say it's luck. They're able to pull back in time. And I'm not a big fan of these guys right here. I'm just saving up for another one of these IS-2s. I don't see any point in making other guys. This is a tank war on this side. If we can just get some infantry to help support us, that'd be great. Basically a tank war. And they're even pushing up, going towards my Katyusha. And they did wipe out that tank, unfortunately. But they're going to start losing more men. Keep in mind, these guys were over here and they're down to one man, so now they're completely gone, that unit. So not too bad. Me and Green doing some work. More heavy tanks coming out. I love these IS-2s. They're absolutely great. Unfortunately, I'm out of engineers because they died. So smoke's going down. That's not me. That was one of the Shermans. I'm pulling back a little bit with my mortars. The Tiger Ace isn't out yet. I think they can make the Tiger Ace. Saving up manpower for it. Should be out very soon, though. So if you ever have a lure in the fighting like this, you might want a lull, not a lure. If you have a lull in the fighting, you might want to hop out with your tank here and repair your men. Repair your tank with your men. So we're winning right now in victory points, and all we need is some infantry up here, and I don't have any. I'm not going to try to capture it with a mortar. I'll capture this position with a mortar, but I'm not going to send a mortar up to this area where it could probably be attacked. I do have my conscripts. I was going to replace them, but I really need some engineers out first. I need to have this tank repaired. It turns out, I forgot about this Dodger. You can have vehicle self-repair, so I have my tank in front of him as he's repairing, and he's going to actually do it the whole way. It used to just be for 30 seconds, I believe, but then they changed that. So we're basically repairing all our tanks because we have a lull in the fighting. Anyway, you can just see, just kind of like a blob, and it's not going to win. They have a lot of artillery, a lot of machine guns, the frontal assault. By the way, if you kill the officer, they all retreat too. And I'm even calling a Stormvic in, so we have artillery going down and the Stormvic was going in. He actually killed a lot of men on the retreat here, so they lost a couple units there. They lost their officer unit. Anyway, you don't really see this a lot. You don't see the Storm Panzer made, but that guy made it. It's good against infantry and positions. It does have... That's a bunker busting with that one. Yeah, I don't really use that tank, just like Stugs. I mean, I just realized what a boss the IS-2 is, so I'm going to be using this a lot more. I never used to use the IS-2, I used to get Tu-34 85s. This is a very, if you're winning, or this is basically the doctrine, is a very late game. So, if you have a lot of fuel and you're winning, this will be great. You also have the radio intercepts, and it's basically focused on the tanks and the Sturmovik. But if you're getting your butt kicked in the first couple minutes, you're not going to be able to make or use a lot of this stuff. Kind of like our formation here, you can see. We're going to set up in like a line of 6 tanks here ready for the enemy. Now I'm going to be a little proactive. I want to kind of cut into town here and possibly, flank anything. And my ally is going to wonder why I was doing this in a little bit here. And you'll see why. So I saw that a Tiger was put on the field, and it was a Tiger Ace. They said, beware of a Tiger Ace, guys. One's coming. And I'm just going to try to wipe out units here if I can. And I do. So I'm going to keep pushing. I kind of wanted to flank around, see who's in the town here. Unfortunately, as I'm doing this, I'm going to kind of weave myself back around to this area. That's when a massive armored force is coming. We have 2 Panthers, a Tiger, and I see this and I'm going like, oh my gosh, I better collapse onto this side, because he's going to start losing a lot of his tanks. So that was bad time by me to kind of leave like that, of course, and my men are kind of slow behind this tank here. So I'm coming to try to help. He's losing a lot of tanks over here. Tigers over there. I mean, there's nothing I could have really done. He's just falling back. Tanks are getting blown up. You can see a Panther's dead. I have my tanks down over here. They're kind of doing a little bit of stuff weird with pathfinding. My goal is I don't want to just charge my tanks, and I want to start sniping the enemy tanks from the flanks. And that Ace, man, that's... He eats T-34s for breakfast. I'm going to lose my Vet 3 tank. It's very unfortunate. He did kill 2 tanks. But that Panther's out of control. And if he wants to... Just crush my men. If this Tiger Ace wants to keep getting pushed back towards our lines and let me flank it, I'll take it. See, we're going to point at this massive armored assault, so I'm going to keep pushing in and trying to kill this Tiger Ace here. You can see I just wiped out all those units there. It seems like all the tanks are collapsing onto this area here. Trying to kill the Tiger Ace. See, even the Stuga-Sufus is over here. I'm getting my crew shocked by something. I believe it's this Stern Panther. My Katyusha's going in. I'm going to try to pull this guy back behind the building and focus on this Panther that's kind of singled out here. So that guy's dead. And you can see the Tiger's going to possibly pull up. And if he wants to pull up like this, I'll go for it. I'm going to try to pull back a little bit here. But you can see he's a little desperate here, just sending his Tiger in. And that Tiger didn't have a whole lot of health to begin with. Now the Panther's coming up. This guy didn't get repaired in time. I'm going to have to pull back here. And if we can destroy this Tiger, he's screwed. I got to pull back. My tank's kind of stuck behind the Sherman, and he did a circle and died. It's very important I don't lose both my tanks here. My crew gets shocked again by something. So I just lost 2 IS-2s. This is really bad. We've lost most of our tanks here on this side. And my allies sent all they had. However, keep in mind, another tank has been deployed. And these tanks are damaged. Luckily that was abandoned, so it wasn't destroyed. I'm going to push in. If I can kill... I see this Panther's kind of... its rear armor's exposed. So I'm going to try to take that out. They pushed too far. They're behind the support of their men. And you can see we're going to kind of do a counterattack here. I want to get rid of this Panther. I should be targeting the Tiger Ace. I'm going to try to switch over here in 1 second. I got that Nagpus on the Tiger, so I just didn't want to be shot from behind. And will this Tiger Ace get away? That is the question. He's popping smoke. We're going to start pursuing. He's blitzing down the road. Got hit again in the rear armor. He slows down a little bit. Rear shot bounces off. And his engine gets destroyed by the rocket warfer. And he's going to push in. And bye-bye Tiger Ace. And I see all these guys here, and they're kind of bunched up, right? I'm going to do pretty well against them. Because, you know, a kind of high explosive shot. It seems like the big round, the IS-2 is shooting. America. I didn't see that during the game. Oh, that's funny. You bet I want to destroy this guy. I think he was the one who was shocking my tanks a little bit. We're down to 10 points. Airplanes are crashing into the victory points here. See the Panther. Especially I want this guy not to get away. I gotta focus on the Panther here. And more easy 8s. You can see we had a good fuel network. They didn't have as good a fuel network. None of their, well, 2 of their points didn't have any fuel on them. All our points had fuel on them. We controlled the fuel most of the game on our side, at least. That was giving us 47 fuel a minute practically. Shooting a lot better than these guys in terms of fuel. These guys are only getting 22 fuel a minute, and they were Oberkommando West, so you can't blame them. They cannot build fuel caches. Now let's look at the kills here. You can see I had 103 men I killed and tanks, and I lost 125 men. Basically held my ground most of the game. I lost, but I captured the stuff back. They killed a lot of men, especially this guy with the sniper, and didn't lose too many men. Anyway, this was on Lazarus Ambush. Hope you guys enjoyed. Leave a comment down below, and I'll see you in the next part. Cod4Man221 signing off. Or in the next, I'll see you in the next online replay, number 37.